The announcement this morning coming from Andy Greene that he's retired. You played a long time with him. You were a young guy with him. Can you just sort of tell me about the impact that Andy Greene had on you and also just this franchise?
Yeah, he was great for both. Great for the franchise. Obviously, undrafted player coming in, having a long, successful career. Just one of those guys that came to the rink every day, and you just looked at the word professionalism sticks out for me. Just seeing him warm up every day, seeing him go on the ice every day, and just do what he needed to do to make himself better and prepare for the next day. He was a great guy for me. It was actually my first defensive partner on the team, and we stuck together off and on throughout a few years here when he was here. So definitely thankful for having a veteran guy to be on my left side for those few years, and he was a great guy to have around the room, and my wife, his wife get along really well. Everything just kind of, nothing but good things to say about a guy like that. And again, he just comes from not a high pick, nothing, he just came into camp and impressed Lou Lamoriello. And when you do something like that, you can stick around for a while because he's got your back once you take care of him. So, yeah, again, nothing but good things to say about Greener, and happy to be able to get a chance to play with him and get to know him.
You touched on it a little bit there, but just the enormity of being an undrafted player, sticking with an entire franchise, basically your entire career, becoming the captain, playing over 1,000 games. I mean, when you think about that as a hockey player, like what comes to mind?
It's like a lot of goals, right? Like a lot of goals is, your first goal is to make the NHL, and, you get kind of into a rhythm and you play a lot of games, and for a guy like that, you get to a certain point and you want to get to 1,000, and for him to achieve that goal, 1,000 games is pretty amazing. So unfortunately he didn't get the Stanley Cup. He came close in 2012, but that would be the ultimate goal that everybody wants, obviously. But he ticked a lot of boxes, and you got to give a guy like that credit for doing those things, and no one can take that away from him. So it's very cool.
He's not a guy who likes the spotlight, but he'll be here on Saturday for the home opener, being recognized. What do you think that moment will be like for the fans of this franchise too, who have seen him through his entire career?
Yeah, he's he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I'm sure he'll be a little bit emotional seeing it. And it's obviously he hasn't played here in a couple of years, finishing his career at the Islanders, but for a guy like that who was the captain and who was so respected and appreciated by his teammates and the fan base, it's just kind of maybe some closure in his playing career. You could say it like that, but it'll be cool to see him just kind of get that recognition he deserves, because he didn't get that recognition he deserved a lot. He wasn't a guy that put up a bunch of points all the time. He was defensive genius, really, is the way I like to put it. He's a great penalty killer, and he just kept his game so simple and always was in the right position, it seemed. So to get that recognition, hopefully from the fan base and from everybody involved in the ceremony, then it'll be well deserved.
But before we get to that night, obviously you guys have a game tomorrow. How much are you looking forward to finally putting together all the work that you guys have done in terms of meshing together as a new defensive unit and getting the work done here now tomorrow?
It's nice just to kind of have training camp over with and have our team and be able to, start normal and start fresh. And this is the start of hopefully a real good season for the Devils. So it's just a chance, an opportunity to start the year well. And I watched a little bit of the games last night, just periods, and I caught the end of the one game. You could just see how excited the players were to win game one of the season. And of course, there's some dog days in the season later on, but when you're in the first few games of the year, you're really fired up and you want to get off to a good start. So that's going to be key for us tomorrow and then beyond that.
When you look at the defense, what do you think the biggest difference people will see in the way you guys operate?
We're just trying to be connected. That's the one word we're trying to use a lot, is just making sure as a pairings and as partners and a whole defensive core, we want to be connected in what we're doing and just trust and belief in what the coaching staff has set forth and their game plan for us. So if we can use our strengths for our abilities and use our skating and get the puck out of our zone and watch our forwards dance around and do the things they do that are so special, that's going to be key for us. Keeping it out of our net obviously is huge, but keeping it out of our zone is even better.
Thanks, Evie.
Yeah, it's cool for me to call him one more day teammate. So it's definitely great career, great guy. I'll definitely keep in touch with him, and I was able to learn a lot of things from him just watching him.
When you were named captain, did he send you a text? Did you guys communicate at all at that time?
Yeah, he did. There are also like other captains from the organization that had a video message for me, so he obviously did. And that just shows how what kind of guy he is, and I mean, I'm honored to follow in his footsteps, and was able to take a lot of good things from him. So definitely, definitely good time with him.
How are you feeling today?
I felt good.
Yeah. Thinking might go tomorrow, or still up in the air?
It's still up in the air.
Yeah.
Nico, what can you appreciate about Andy going undrafted and working his way through the league the way he did, especially as someone who was drafted in yourself and, you know, first overall? What can you sort of take from that?
Yeah, I mean, his work ethic. I mean, just kept going, kept working hard, and the career he did undrafted. It's something pretty unique, and it just shows determination of this guy and what kind of mindset he had, and he brought that in night out in here. He always wanted the best from the team. He was not selfish at all. See them when he was blocking all the shots. Just did everything for the team, and that's something that really impressed me, and that's something I really want to try to do for this team. I also want to just do the best for the team and put myself in the background. So that's what he showed me, and I'll try to do the same thing.
Thanks, Nico.
Anytime you've crossed paths with Andy Greene, or how well you know him, but the thoughts on him becoming wanting to come back to the organization, sign the one-day contract, and retire as a Devil?
You know, I think it's incredible when you know, a guy that's had a long career and built his career in a city and comes back and, you know, signs that final deal. Speaks about what the organization thinks of him and what he thinks of being a Devil, and I think that's an awesome moment.
And Nico City felt good out there. How did he look to?
I thought he looked good too. You know, obviously we're being cautious, but I like this practice. You know, practice 2 days in a row, so we'll see where he's at tomorrow.
I know you said Tice had skated in the morning yesterday. Any update?
No update. Still progressing. Skated on his own. So it keeps coming along.
And do you feel you've done all the prep work you need for the start of the season? Obviously, building up to playing Philadelphia tomorrow.
Yeah. You know, we've pretty well gone through everything. You know, I think a little uncertain where, you know, with a couple injuries where people are going to fit, but you know, I think other teams deal with that at the same time too. So, but you know, we liked where we got our game to. I think our team game was in a good place, and it's just continue to build off of the way we were playing.
How will you determine if Nico is ready to go or not? Are you practicing skate tomorrow morning, or how's that going?
I mean, with the medical staff, obviously. We will, in all likelihood, be in the first game. We probably will skate as a group, get the bus legs out of us. So,
a good quote.
So, you know, we'll see where he's at tomorrow morning. Make the decision then.
And what do you anticipate from a Flyers team coached by Torts his first year there? I mean, you expect this to be a pretty good opener for
Yeah,
teams.
you know, I think you're going to see an aggressive team, high energy. I think they're going to come hard, forecheck really hard. I think our management with the puck has to be good. You know, I think if we manage the puck well, you know, it should be a heck of a game. But you know, I think anytime a new coach steps in, you expect a lot out of your team.
McKenzie in goal?
Not disclosing my goaltender.
Another season, the same.
Another season, same guy.
Sorry. Same routine.
I know the record's still broken. Good.
Miles, you have been in this locker room quite some time now. You were here when Andy Greene was the captain. Can you just talk to me a little bit about the impact that he had on individuals in the room and just the franchise as a whole?
First and foremost, he's an unbelievable human being. He's still a very close friend of mine, still to this day. You know, when I first came in, I was a 20-year-old, and you know, he always had that presence in the room. He always can make people laugh and smile. He still does to this day. I saw him the other day, and he's still the same old him. And you know, to have him there at such an early point in my life, to shape the room, to shape how I look at the game. You know, it's something that I'll be forever in debt with him about. He's a great guy. He's a great family man, and I wish him nothing but the best in his upcoming years.
Can you appreciate, someone who went undrafted to go on to play 14 years with one franchise, play over 1,000 games in the league, and just, what that says about who he is?
Yeah, to go undrafted and play over 1,000 games and to stay with one franchise. I mean, he played 2 with the Islanders, but I think the fans here all think of him as a lifetime New Jersey player. It's hard to stay with one team, and for him to do that for 14 years or so, it just shows what type of guy he was in the room and what type of player he was.
So I know you play preseason games, but how eager are you to get there for a full-scale regular season game and show what you can do back on the ice?
Yeah, I can't wait. It's been a long time since I stepped out there with the guys and played an actual game. Don't know how I'll react at the start of the puck, but it's a very happy time for me to feeling good about my hip, and can't wait to get going tomorrow.
So that's going to be the biggest thing, is being fully healthy too, not just playing, but being knowing you can play to your best.
Blackwood. Sorry, say that again.
They're saying also being able to play healthy too.
Yeah, for sure. I've had hip problems for a while. I just didn't know that it was a labral tear for so long. And now that that's cleaned up, I feel great. And I feel great what the trainers have done with me over the last year and a half or so with my hip. And tomorrow it's time to go. Let's do it.